Thank you all for being here. My name is Mark Sanchez. I am the president of the Board of Education in San Francisco. I'm going to be reading a statement to you, and then Superintendent Vincent Matthews will take questions. The district has just learned this afternoon that a parent of a Lowell High School student is being treated for COVID-19, also known as coronavirus. Out of an abundance of caution and for the safety and well-being of our community, we have decided to close the school and all events and gatherings for the time being. The school will not be open on Friday, and we will share an updated message before Monday. Students, faculty, and staff are not to be on campus during this time once everyone has safely left the campus. Students who receive transportation services from the district will maintain their regular schedule and will be dropped off at their usual time and usual location. We know that the student was not in school after lunchtime. The Department of Public Health has assessed the student. There is no confirmation that the student has contracted COVID-19, and the student does not have and has not had any symptoms. The student is in quarantine. This is an unfolding situation, and we are working with the Department of Public Health, Department of Emergency Management, and city partners to determine the next steps. There is still a lot of information we do not have. We know that closing school is disruptive, and we appreciate your understanding while we continue to gather facts. Given that this is an unfolding situation, we ask for our community to work with us as we continue to coordinate with health officials. We will continue to provide you with updates. While it is not our intent to cause undue alarm or disruption to our students' learning, the district has decided to act conservatively and in the best interest of our community members in announcing this closure. We will continue to be transparent with you and communicate what we know as frequently as possible. Families will understandably have questions. For health-related questions, please call the city's 311 line. At this time, the Department of Public Health is not recommending families, students, or staff quarantine or seek medical help unless they have symptoms. So now I'll turn it over to Superintendent Matthews.
Good afternoon. You just heard the statement, so I'm here to attempt to answer any questions that you have.
Is the parent of the student who's been quarantined, is this related to the two cases that the DPH and the mayor's office relayed earlier today?
Yes, one of the cases is the parent of the student.
Should parents of other schools, parents of students in other schools be preparing emergency childcare? You know, if there's other relatives at all other schools, are you going to be shutting down the rest of the schools? Like, how does that work for students and parents planning?
One of the things we realize is this is an evolving situation, and we're learning as we go. At this time, we don't know of any other cases, so at this time, I would say that isn't advisable. We're taking each case as it comes. And as we learn more, we may handle cases differently as they come forward. But at this time, we don't have that information.
So if there's relatives of other students, will you guys be doing the same thing, shutting it down for?
No.
That's what we're just saying. Not necessarily. We're learning as we go.
Do you know if the student has siblings, and if so, those siblings go to any other schools in San Francisco?
At this point, we haven't identified any siblings at any other schools.
Was there a recommendation from either the San Francisco DPH or the federal CDC to make the closure, or was that done entirely by the school board?
We work hand in hand with, and we've been working for about the last month with the Department of Public Health. At this time, this wasn't their recommendation, but we realized we're taking our families, their concerns into account. And we know this was a conservative decision, but we did this out of the abundance of caution for the safety and welfare of our students.
Any reason to believe that adult had recently been to the school?
We don't. We actually don't know. We're trying to track down that information. If that parent has recently been at the school, we don't know right now.
And we'll work just to further that answer, but that is one of the situations that we're working with DPH on. They're assisting us in backtracking and figuring out exactly the timeline and where the parent has been.
Do you track health complaints from students? In other words, if kids go to the office and complain of having fever or flu-like symptoms, is that logged by the school? And if so, have there been any reported of any children with flu-like symptoms reported in the last week or so?
So we absolutely log that information. We have that information. At this point, we haven't had the time to, it's an evolving situation, so we're just going through that data.
And expanding that out from Lowell, are you aware of any other children reporting flu-like symptoms from their schools over the last week or so?
So there has definitely not been an uptick. It's just normal that at any school you'd have that, and we're following the guidelines from both our Department of Emergency Management as well as DPH, as well as the CDC. If you have flu-like symptoms, stay home, monitor those symptoms, wash your hands, all of the guidelines that I'm pretty sure everyone has heard over the last month. We're giving the same guidelines and same as, recommending the same recommendations.
How did the school district find out? Did they self-report? Did the family self-report?
We had been, as I said, we're working closely with DPH. We received that information after we found out this morning of the cases. We had direct conversations with DPH and we were made aware of the situation.
So DPH knew that they had a child at Lowell?
Well, we were made aware of the situation. That's what I can say at this time.
Are there any plans to sanitize or to take remedial cleaning efforts as a result of this at Lowell in particular?
So we will be cleaning the school. This, gives us an opportunity because the school is closed. So we'll be doing probably, I would say, a more thorough cleaning, not a deep cleaning, but a more thorough cleaning of the school.
How many students go to school at Lowell?
3,000.
If there's a determination that the parent had been to the school or that the student could have symptoms and be testing positive, how long do you guys expect to close down the school in response to that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't hear the first part, I heard the second part.
Yeah, so if it is determined that the parent had been to the school recently or that the student has contracted coronavirus, then how long do you guys anticipate closing the school for in response to that, to respond to that?
So one of the things, as I said when we started this conversation, is that this is an ongoing situation. We're learning more as we go. We will be working together with DPH and the Department of Emergency Management in the coming days, especially tomorrow, to make those determinations. Right now, that isn't the case, so I don't want to speculate on if that were in fact the case.
Has the district started working on remote learning plans? So in the case that schools do have to be closed down, kids are still getting educated?
Yes, our curriculum and instruction department, as well as our department of lead is the department that works directly with schools. It is the leadership team for schools. They have begun developing and creating those plans. So our hope is that that isn't the case and we don't have to do that, but we are getting prepared for that.
And I'm sorry, did you say that there were any other students at SFUSD that were related to the patient, the COVID-19 patient?
At this time, we're not aware of that. We don't believe that.
And by letting people know about updates before Monday, do you mean Sunday, so like not Monday morning before they're going to
Our hope is to get more information out tomorrow.
Did the child participate in any sporting events that could have jeopardized some other schools?
So as I said, this is a ongoing learning situation, and we're gathering that information as we speak. Oh, the other aspect is that the school is closed for the rest of today and tomorrow at least, and then all sporting events today, tomorrow, and through the weekend have been canceled for all sporting events and any other activities.
Have you had to contact any other schools, like had any of the students recently had any competitions or anything with any other schools, other high schools? Have you had to contact any other high schools and let them know what's going on here?
No, we have not.
Will you?
We're not aware of the student having, as I said earlier, we're not aware of the student having any contact with any other schools.